Alright, welcome everyone to game number 5 in Couch Cup number 3 2022. And this will be played in a team game setting with one team consisting of Jesse the Emperor and Fuplis, and the other team consisting of Fredinhiovic and Herr Acker. And now one thing to note here is that Jesse the Emperor has been blessed by us by granting him a 10% handicap. So he gets a lot of bonuses, like 10% building speed, 10% more gather rate, 10% more HP on the villagers, etc. So it doesn't sound as much like 10%. What is this? But if you take all the effects together, it is quite a lot. Now let's see what the players are doing here. So Herr Acker dropping on a tiny wood line, and the same goes for Fredinhiovic. Like, what were the players thinking? It's like, I think 500 wood is enough for the entire game. And on the other side, well, please dropping on the bigger wood line, but a little bit too far to the shore to my liking. And Jesse the Emperor, the only one who's dropping in a nice location, wedged in between two wood lines. As for the civilizations, Jesse the Emperor playing as the Franks, so he might be going for some knights, so castle age into knights. Fredinhiovic has the Portuguese, so we know that he shares vision with Herr Acker already in the Dark Age, and we can see that if we go to his point of view, or Herr Acker's point of view, we see that they already share the vision and still they were dropping on bad wood lines. So it's a little bit questionable here. Now Herr Acker has the poles. So poles have the bonus that their villages regenerate hit points already in the Dark Age, and then the bonus increases. And finally Fuplis has the Teutons. So Teutons, that signals to me he wants to go for a douche. And we have seen a douche in the previous game, so I think Fuplis just was reminded of how annoying and strong the douche can be if executed properly, and Teutons definitely more of an A-tier douching civilization, not like we've seen previously with the C-tier douching civilizations of Byzantines and the Sicilians. So yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting match, quite evenly matched if you take the 10% handicap into account here for Jesse the Emperor. And if we look at the villager numbers, it's still quite even, although Fuplis is already one villager ahead, and that is even though the Teutons don't really have a bonus there, so he just had a much better start overall so far, but all of that may change soon. Let's look at Jesse the Emperor. He is building some houses, he's scouting, he's known for very good scouting information. So if you look at the Fog of War, we can see that he's already exploring in a windmill-like pattern around his base. Of course, he's Dutchman, so of course he prefers to send the sheep out in this windmill pattern. They're kind of the wings of the windmill, and they're exploring the map around his base. On the other side, if you go to Fuplis' Fog of War, basically no scouting at all, because he didn't find any sheep, now finally finds a sheep. And yeah, kind of unlucky, because usually Fuplis always finds sheep, but this time he didn't. And of course Herr Acker and Fredinhiovic sharing their vision, so of course they see much more. And what is this? What is this strategy here by Herr Acker? This is quite interesting. He doesn't have loom at this point of the game, but still he decided to go for a very classic food pleasy strategy in that he was going for laming of the stone. But I don't think it's going to be quite as effective because there's more stone available here and over here. And in return, Fuplis just takes the boar of Herr Acker. So I think way more important to take the boar than to wall in the stone. But yes, let's see what the players will go for. From here, we see that the score of Jesse the Emperor is rising quite significantly, and that might be simply due to the gather rate. I think, yeah, if you look at this, he's also, I think, starting with more resources. You can see that he's 20 more stone in the bank. That's because he also starts with 10% more more resources, and that's just quite strong overall. Yes, overall, villager numbers quite even. A slight edge now, I would say, for team Herr Acker. They are a little bit ahead overall because Jesse the Emperor has been slacking a little bit, but really with 10% faster gathering rate, he is virtually already one villager ahead because villagers just gather much faster. So far, not much action, which is surprising. Usually we see Food Please going for some early aggression, especially at as the Teutons, he should just go for the douche, but we don't see any movement, and he should start this any second now. If he plans for a douche, then he should just go and start the douche already, but doesn't seem like he's going for the douche. He maybe just wanted to fake out Herr Acker and just plays this very standardly, probably goes for fast castle into knights. Teutons, very strong knight civilization. They get the extra melee armor on the knights, but they don't get husbandry. So overall, a lot of people don't really like the Teutons for knights, or if they have other options available. Jesse the Emperor happily taking the board with all his villagers. He has 0 villagers here on wood, because why does he need anyone on wood when he has just starts with more wood and starts with a faster gathering rate? And we see some chat messages, but now also Food Please giving the direct instructions to Jesse the Emperor, who is of course trademark Jesse the Emperor. He's housed quite a bit, but still the score lead for Jesse the Emperor, who is now also dropping the barracks. Also very typical Jesse the Emperor move. He now has 800 food in the bank, but is not clicking up because he didn't have the buildings, I guess. Now he's clicking up, queuing more fishing ships, and he's well on the way to the feudal age, whereas I think everyone else is still firmly planted in Dark Age. And I think we see some villager action now. Villager going down here for Food Please. We just missed it. And trying to wall in the lumber camp of Herr Acker, but Herr Acker should not attack too much here. He should just go back to gathering wood, because the wall is not really consequential. Fredinhiovic being untouched, and that is very dangerous. If you let Fredinhiovic just boom ahead, be untouched, then it's gonna be very, very dangerous for you. Although Fredinhiovic also looking at this Food Please economy here, like taking a slice out of Food Please's book. And yeah, but the score keeps on switching, so it seems like we have a pretty even match here. The Admiral Jesse the Emperor so far not doing a move, but he will be first up to the feudal age any second now, and then he can pump out those fire galleys and can just win water easily. And there he is, already advanced to the next stage, but he only has one villager on wood, but that's enough, because that is the faster gather rate. It's just very, very powerful, and he already produces the first fire galley, and that's just such a big bonus. And also spreading with villagers everywhere. Acker going for another dock, but I think he will be attacked by Food Please soon, because Food Please likes to go aggressive, and so I expect something from him once he's up to the next stage, which he is right now. Now Jesse the Emperor now having his first fire galley, the second one is on the way. Herr Acker still in Dark Age, and look at the fishing ships. They're ripe for the taking here from the fire galley of Jesse the Emperor, and yes, he finds the fishing ships right away, and this is so devastating for Herr Acker, getting wrecked by the Admiral once again in this game. In the meantime, Jesse just happily booming away. I mean, you can't really call it booming with this idle time, but he only has 25 villagers compared to 34 of Herr Acker, so 10 villagers less, but it doesn't matter because he has the faster gather rate. Uh, Now attacking the fire galley with a villager, that's not a good idea. You should never do that. Fire galleys just win easily. Now Fupli's coming forward, probably to drop a tower. I mean, that's pretty typical Fupli stuff, although one of the stones has been lamed, but I think he anyways wants to go for a tower, because why not? Teuton Tower is also stronger, you can garrison more villagers, shoot more arrows, but he anyways only has 5 villagers there. And he drops it right into the face of Herr Acker. Herr Acker could deny this easily if he realizes, but he doesn't realize in time. And there's walls coming up. And this is devastating because also those villagers are trapped. He needs to delete the lumber camp for the villagers to be free and not get shot down by the tower. This is devastating for Herr Acker. And even the Poles, the villager bonus, won't save him here. And yeah, the tower is up and the villagers are getting shot. Okay, but there seems to be an escape route over here between those two palisade walls. So no complete wall in. All is fine for Acker, but still the tower is quite annoying. But in the meantime, he was able to at least kill one of the fire galleys. But there's more fire galleys here for Jesse the Emperor, who can just produce so much more. He's now prepping stable and blacksmith, so he is ready to go up to the next age. He needs a little bit more food, but I think he will be fine. He still has fishing ships. His fire galleys also killing Fredinhiovic's fishing ships over on this side. Fredinhiovic on the other side, he is going for his usual approach, I would say, of booming, and he's going to reach the castle age soon. And if he reaches the castle age and can produce some military units, then this is going to be glorious. Or he's even going for the castle drop. Look at this stone count, almost enough for the castle. But where will he drop it? Will he drop it on Jesse the Emperor, which we have seen can be quite ineffective? Because then the township of Jesse the Emperor just has more hit points, is more resilient. And so let's see what he can do. Now Herr Acker concentrating on water, trying to win water here against Jesse the Emperor and food please. Food please in the meantime, doing some random stuff, random blacksmith, random house, villages scattered everywhere, sheep everywhere along the shoreline. But yeah, a little bit of low in the action. Fredinhiovic does have enough for the castle. Where does he drop it? Defensively in the direction of Herr Acker. Okay, that's a little bit too defensive, I would say. Why not drop it on the other side in the direction of Jesse the Emperor or Fupli? This is basically protecting Fredinhiovic from Herr Acker. So maybe he's saying, oh, Herr Acker will go down anyways, and then I will need protective castle there. So that's why he put it there. But now he is creating organ guns. They could be quite strong in this game. But so far, I think could have been better to just go for knights in this situation, because he was the first up to the castle age. So far, no one else is up to the castle age, and one knight is more effective than one organ gun because the knight is just faster. Still, score lead goes for Jesse the Emperor, and this is what 10% handicap can do to you, because Jesse the Admiral, I should say, was able to basically win water or heavily contest water. Although Herr Acker is now coming back with a lot of fire galleys, but maybe this is too much resources expended here for Herr Acker. That is the question. But Fredinhiovic also, he has the organ guns out, but not doing too much. In the meantime, Fupli is now reaching the castle age. He has two stables ready to prepare the knights, and I don't think that 2 organ guns is enough to take on the knights that are coming out from food please. Yes, indeed, we see it in the queue. 2 knights coming out, they could easily wreck the organ guns. So Fredinhiovic just needs a lot more, and Herr Acker did win water, kind of win water maybe, but he only has 2 fishing ships left, so was it really worth it in the end? Also, more fire galleys coming out from the Admiral, more fire galleys over here from food please. So I think overall still The team Food Please Jesse the Emperor won water, and now the knights are coming in from Food Please right into the wood line. All the villages are ripe for the picking. Although the knights are they're just passing. They're not doing anything. They're not even attacking. Now finally one hit coming in. But it's so devastating for the economy, for Herr Acker. And yeah, the organ guns not doing anything. They're just like fumbling around, stumbling on top of each other. And the knights are just more effective, forcing 20 idols here in the town center. And villages, I think, will go down here for Herr Acker. But yeah, this is devastating. Look at this. I mean, yeah, Poopy's throwing away the knights a little bit too carelessly. And so he doesn't have anything in response against the organ guns. He's just like also not reacting. But I think overall, yes, the knights could do more damage, but the control of the knights is kind of lacking here. I think that Foodpiece was occupied on water maybe, but yeah, maybe not so much. And yeah, it looks like Acker also completely ousted from water now. Team Foodpiece Jesse the Emperor winning water decisively. Now Acker reaching Castle Age, only Jesse the Emperor not in Castle Age yet, and I'm wondering, what is he doing? Is he just happy with just being the Admiral? Yes, indeed, and he's not even clicked up to Castle Age. He has almost 2,000 gold. He should just buy some food and just go up to the next age. Like, he could go up to Imperial Age almost. Just skip the Castle Age, go up to Imp, and win the game from there.
Just you need to win the game for us.
And because now the organ guns, I mean, they're slow, they're ineffective, but now the numbers have been built. This could be quite devastating if Foodpiece doesn't manage to get enough knights out with the appropriate upgrades. Jesse the Emperor, of course, badly housed, as is customary for the Emperor himself. And he could also refresh the lumber camp at some point. And how did the Emperor manage to get 42 out of 40 civilization? This doesn't make much sense. Because he already had 41 out of 40, and he was able to produce one more unit. But maybe this is the handicap. Maybe the handicap also increases your pop space. Now let's get back to the action. The organ guns, quite effective organ guns with pikemen, and there's not too many knights here. I don't think. I hear desperation there.
Okay, take the knights and raid Freddy.
Ah!
Oh my god!
I
can't believe this.
I hear desperation there from Food Please. Things don't go according to plan. I think Food Please wants to throw in the towel already, because he has nothing to stop the organ guns. He needs mangonels, but he has nothing. And Jesse the Emperor just happily booming away, or not booming away. He doesn't see a single farm. He's still badly housed, but at least he has reached the Castle Age. If we look at the villager numbers, Foodpiece and Fredinhiovic quite even, and the other players also quite even, with Jesse having a slight lead over Herr Acker, and now a castle being dropped here by Herr Acker. Very nice move, going in on the offensive, going towards Foodpiece. Very nice play. Why didn't he show this kind of play in the games he played with me, I wonder. But of course, I am just joking. I just didn't play good as well. But yeah, looking pretty solid for Fredinhiovic and Acker, even though the score lead is currently still in the favor of Foodpiece and Jesse, although it just switched and Jesse's still housed. He has been housed. He has 6 fire galleys in the queue and is completely housed for 10 minutes already. Now he has 7 knights and 6 fire galleys in the queue, but he's still housed. Finally, I think he built 1 house, but he just needs to build so many more houses. 2 is not enough. More houses are necessary, and maybe some farms would be nice. I mean, 0 farms. this is quite amazing. 20 minutes into the game, 0 farms seeded, and yes. Meanwhile, we have an offensive castle here by Herr Acker, shooting down the town center of Fuplis, which is a Teuton town center, but still will be shot down. But we have a defensive castle here of Fuplis, who has basically 0 economy. Basically completely ousted from his starting location. And let's see if Freddy pulls through and just kills the starting TC off Fuplis, or if he's just getting hung up on some houses, which might be quite effective as well. Now we see a stone wall coming up here for Fuplis, trying to wall off this area, but unfortunately he wasn't able to finish it. And the organ guns in this number are quite strong against the walls. Jesse, of course, getting housed again. I just have to mention this now. Focusing on water again. He is the admiral, so he has more fishing ships and more fire galleys in the queue, even though the opposing team doesn't even have a dock anymore. But still, why not produce more fire galleys? And that's but at the same time, he was able to also get some knights up, and the knights could do a very nice raid here in Freddy's wood line, and Freddy was not able to react, and the villagers will go down quickly, and they go down surprisingly fast. But it's a lot of knights there, a lot of kills for Jesse the Emperor, who is carrying the team. If you look at the score, like, Jesse the Emperor clearly the better player in the team, with Fuplis, who is completely crushed by the organ guns. Now has to flee into a tiny little corner in the back of the base. Maybe transport ships need to be built. Now he's dropping another castle. But is this enough? Is this enough to defend? But if Jesse can do some more damage, then maybe this is enough. And Jesse has a few knights. He's missing some upgrades, but he has +1 defense and bloodlines, so not too bad here. And if Fuplis can just creep forward with the castles, maybe get crenellations even. But I have to mention it again, Jesse the Emperor is just housed and still has 2 fire galleys in the queue when the opposing team has 0 docks. 0 docks, 2 fire galleys still in the queue. And
what the fuck, Jesse?
11 fishing ships in the queue for Jesse the Emperor at this point. Scale Barding armor, 2 fire galleys, 11 fishing ships at 22 minutes in the game. This is a madman's strategy. And of course he has to queue more fishing ships because he has 0 farms seeded. Now he's producing a lot more houses, so good on Jesse the Emperor. Was able to do a little bit more damage, but now there's a lot of pikemen for Fredinhiovic, who is the Portuguese. Still knights out for Jesse the Emperor, but they're pretty weak. They're fighting underneath the castle, so I think all the knights by Jesse the Emperor will be cleaned up here by the knights of Herr Acker. Herr Acker kind of running away a little bit, but still the knights will be cleaned, and it's quite a decisive score lead already for the team of Freddy and Herr Acker. And all the other team has left is water control, and they need to leverage water control. They need to build close to the shoreline. They need to make sure that they get all the fish that is on this map, and then maybe rebuild somewhere else, get some gold. I mean, Jesse the Emperor doesn't need gold. He has 1,400 gold, 1,400 wood in the bank. So, and he is now building a castle over here. It's maybe not the best castle because it's not really protecting any strategic resources, so no gold underneath the castle, but still it will slowly advance off the organ guns of Fredinhiovic if it ever goes up, because there's a lot of organ guns. But I think the castle will still come up. Frank's castle, of course, cheaper, and the castle will go up and it will be able to shoot at the organ guns. So the advancement of Fredinhiovic has been stopped. Herr Acker, in the meanwhile, building quite a nice army of knights. But the organ guns of Fredinhiovic are just crazy good. I don't know, is crenellations a Castle Age technology or an Imperial Age technology? It's the Imperial Age technology, so not something that Foodbeast could go for here to make more use of his castle. But anyways, he's shooting down quite a lot of organ guns with the castle fire, so very nice for Foodbeast. He is, of course, lacking Botkin Arrow, but still the castle is quite effective against the organ guns here. Now Jesse the Emperor, still more score than Foodbeast, so he is carrying the team. So if those players lose, we know it's Foodbeast's fault, because if you look at the score, it's quite clear. But economy-wise, that both teams are still quite even, surprisingly. So it's not. You would think, oh, this game could be over by now, but no, it's not over yet. But Jesse should also think about investing into fletching at least to get a little bit more range on the castle, a little bit more attack on the town center, because like this, it's not gonna work out for him. Now the knights attacking the organ guns, who supposedly have a minimum range, but they are still able to attack. What is this bullshit game mechanics over here? This is just ridiculous. Yeah, a lot of organ guns going down. Foodbeast trying to claw himself back into this game. He hasn't given up yet. He's going for the cockroach approach, where he's just expanding everywhere, placing town centers, putting the villages everywhere. And this is only possible because his team won water, so he is able to collect more food from water and also control the shoreline. If you go to Jesse Emperor's point of view, still 10 fishing ships in the queue. At what point will the Emperor stop? He has 0 villagers on wood, but 10 fishing ships, so he has basically 750 wood in the queue. And yeah, if he saves a little bit more, he could go towards Imperial Age, I would say, and then trap down the castle by Herr Acker. All the players still in Castle Age, and Jesse the Emperor should just maybe go for Imperial Age. I think that would be a good move, and put some pressure on the enemy castles and try to rebuild in the back. Because the other players, I think they are firmly stuck in the Castle Age, indeed. Although Fredinhiovic now saving up, saving more and more food. Although he only has 6 on food, so it's gonna be quite a while. But I think Imperial Age for Jesse the Emperor, and then Foodbeast just needs to reboom and just needs to cockroach and take some good engagements. Although he lost so many villages here on the wood line and here on the wood line, the organ guns, the castles everywhere. This is just devastating for Foodbeast. But of course, he always has a plan B. He's never quite out of the game. He always has something, another trump card to play. And you'll see another trump card from Jesse the Emperor getting a nice raid in. He should just go into the wood line again, because the wood line is just wide open, but also the farms are wide open. Villagers being killed left and right on the farms, on the wood line. This is just a very nice raid here by Jesse the Emperor, equalizing villager numbers a little bit. Fredinhiovic losing a lot of villagers. Like, his economy is not as strong as we were used to, and if Jesse finds the wood line to the south, then this could be quite devastating for Fredinhiovic, who is now below 40 villagers. So he has the lowest villager number in the entire game. That is crazy to me. And the knights indeed find the second wood line, and this is devastating. Fredinhiovic, although he is in the score lead, he has all the organ guns, he has the military prowess, but now he is losing his economy. All the villagers are idle, so 0 villagers working. Yeah, this could actually be turned around. He's now at 32 villagers, only has half the villagers of Foodbeast at this point. Of course, we don't know how effective the villagers of Foodbeast are, which are now being transported away. But look at the fish boom by Jesse the Emperor. This is just too much. Like, the fishing ships, there's 25 fishing ships on the screen alone. I think he needs to redock in the south, Jesse the Emperor, so he can make use of all the riches over here. If we if you look at this, there's so many fish out here that can still be fished. So what an interesting game. Quite a back and forth. Although I think that Team Fredinhiovic and Herr have the lead, but they can still throw this away easily because Fredinhiovic just lost a lot of villagers, losing some organ guns, and now he just has to reboom, recollect himself, and yes, and if Poopies gets a nice foothold here, he can just track down those castles, and then there's a nice angle for a push coming up here. But remember, Herr Acker, he is the Poles. I'm not sure if he already got the unique technology, which is the Slakta privileges, which means that the knights cost way less gold, and so that's a super strong unique tech, especially if you go for knights. And yes, more raids here by Jesse the Emperor. This is just devastating for Fredinhiovic, who just has zero economy at this point compared to the other players. Even Jesse the Emperor has more villages, although probably most of those are fishing ships. And yes, also more raids here by Food Please if he realizes, but no, he's just bumping. Meanwhile, Herr Acker managed, took my advice and managed to get up to the Imperial Age. Now also has some Obuk. So Herr Acker suddenly looking very strong. So the boat trip was very good for him. He's now starting to trap down the castle over here. Although the trap might be sniped. No, because Freddy doesn't, or Jesse doesn't focus on the traps. Instead, he focuses on the ramps. So I think this castle of Jesse the Emperor will go down, and then it's a slow battle downhill here for our red and orange player. Poopies now reaching the castle age. Let's see what he will be going for. Of course, more knights. What else would he go for? No traps in the queue so far. No crenellations on the way for him. And yes, we suddenly see a fleet of fire ships here for Acker, who is taking back water and has killed all the fishing ships of Jesse the Emperor, which I unfortunately missed. And Jesse the Emperor has nothing left, of course, because if the Admiral is ousted from water, then there's nothing left. And I think the team here, Acker Fredinhiovic, get a win in this game, wrestling it out. Food Please looking a little bit weak, a little bit shaky there, doing a weak tower on the wood line. Not very good aggression by him. Maybe the laming of the stone by Acker in the beginning did indeed pay off. Maybe that's deterred Food Please enough. Also, Food Please quite slow in this game, I have to say. Bad starting position next to the shoreline. Wasn't able to deal with the masses of organ guns that Fredinhiovic was able to put out. And I think, yeah, we just wait for the slow decline over here. Herr Acker having masses of knights, already having some Imperial Age upgrades. We're waiting, of course, for the Cavalier upgrade. And has Obux, he has the Trebuchets, and yeah, this could very well be the first win for Acker in this tournament, and he very much needs this win to come back into the ranking, because Jesse the Emperor has been flying so far. He has 2 wins, but this was just too much. Although Jesse the Emperor very strong in the early and mid game again, the Admiral was striking again, winning water, producing an insurmountable amount of fishing ships, but in the end I think there was no way for Food Please and Jesse the Emperor to win this. Now last stand here for Food Please. He has Cavaliers, okay, who lose, you see this effect here, they lose armor due to the Obuk, so each attack of the Obuk strips the Cavaliers from their armor. You just saw it going down there. And yeah, this has to be GG. There's nothing Kukis can do. Look at the score. Herr Acker decisively winning this game, redeeming himself. Although there's some nice raids here again from Desi the Emperor. So Desi the Emperor definitely doing some nice raids in this game, but it was just not enough. And but I think the weak link might be actually Food Police in this game. Like not like getting yeah, cornered here and near his starting town center location, and then never really accomplishing too much with the Knight aggression in the early game, and not defending from the organ guns. And yeah, I think it's gonna be GG soon. The monasteries are, I think, being taken. I mean, a measly monk is not enough to convert all of those cavalier, and indeed that GG is being called. Two Priest has resigned. Will just the Emperor resign as well, or will he play on? That is the question. But yes, he is resigning again, and we can quickly look towards the statistics before we get the pizza ready. And if we look at the timeline, yes, we see just the team of Two Priests and just the Emperor just crumbling already, basically in Castle Age, already over here. Already the team has crumbled. Fredinhiovic doing a huge military boom with the organ guns, having very little economy in the end. But then Herr Acker was able to take over with the Poles, and he was just going for the Knights, and that was the win. And this was game number 5 of Couch Cup number 3, and we'll see you in game number 6.